after a very long summer break, we are finally starting to warm up into our homeschool year again. I am not super eager on like diving in full force right off of the bat September 1st. So my goal is really over the next like 2 weeks or so to kind of warm my kids up into doing schoolwork again. And here's some of the ways that I'm doing that. So one way is kind of reviewing what we didn't finish in Logic of English last year. So there was a couple of things right at the very end of the book that I was just like, we're done. I'm over the school year. We're not going to do this anymore. And basically what those are a few different games and the last few letters here that my daughter knew. But basically it's going over some of our short and long vowel sounds like the E versus the eh. It is practicing reading some of these shorter words, 3 and 4 letter words that she is reading. And so it's sounding them out and then matching them to the picture that matches it over here. So we did that yesterday and that went a lot more smoothly than I actually thought it was going to. So that's one thing that we're doing. There's a lot of games in Logic of English that I love. We're also rereading our Doodling Dragons book. We would take turns doing the Duolingo like kids version of letters. And so one of my kids would play, they call it the owl game. They would do the owl game, and while the other one was on not their turn, they would be reading through this book with me. And so what I like about it is basically we identify the letter, we remember the sound, and then we read the words over here that all incorporate that sound. Again, I'm really impressed with how much they remember from last year, and I'm actually reading that with my son as well, who is 3.5. I also got these Bob books. I got 3 different ones from Costco. They were $8, but they ran out like so quickly, so they're gone from my Costco. I think they're pretty simple. These are the pre-reader collections. They go through letters. My son, who's 3.5, does these pretty well, and so it's like identifying the letter, and then we talk about what sound does B make. The B says "ba." That's right, just like in bed and bunny and things like that. So we've been reviewing some of these Bob books together. That feels like a very fun, gentle, but like goal-oriented thing, because when they can see, oh, I just read that book, like that's really motivating for my kids. This is the sight words. It's for kindergarten ages 4 and up, I believe. So they'll look at one book. My daughter is at this level. So we will slowly read through like plums are in a tree. And so there's a few things that are a little bit new for her, like the sound that we haven't quite covered yet. But for the most part, she's doing really well with this. So those are a few things that we are doing to warm back up into the school year. We're also doing some arts and craft and some watercoloring that I want to do more of this year, but takes a little bit more effort and motivation on my part. So I think we're going to basically take it like subject by subject. Right now, we started doing some art this week, started incorporating a little bit of letters and phonogram review, and then maybe next week we'll start remembering a little bit of math before really starting up school like more seriously in the next 2 weeks.